Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Pit Stop. We are here. Oh, wow. I haven't been here in a week. Welcome back. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to all of you. It's been a while since we've hung out like this. We are here for the Pit Stop. We're going to chill out. We're going to drink some seriously gourmet and we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of sim racing. And we're just going to get caught up on things. How you all doing? I'm doing great. I'm well rested. The brain is clear. I am feeling wonderful. I'm Amirless. Now, there is a chance. There is a chance that Amir might make it here by the end of the show. He's running late. He had some real life work things getting away of such things like sim racing. But he is working on and getting over here. So we'll see. It depends on how long the show goes. And depends on, if he gets here in time. So, how you all doing? That's the big question. I want to get some good mornings to all of you. Now, funny enough, I did just get back to town, but I did get a stream in already. I haven't produced any videos, so we're talking sim racing news at the Simpit. Things are a little slow last week or this week, but we're going to get things caught up real quick. PS4 Deadman, Spatial Dragon, and Tom Jones. Good morning to the three of the early birds who got here. Who else is here this morning? Please say good morning. That's it? Where is everybody? No one wants to join us for the pit stop. I only show us with like 11 viewers. I'm going to have to just... you know what? Tom Jones!
Wow,
Tom
nice.
Jones. Dirge, good morning to you. Terry Crouch, or the early birds who don't type anything. Terry Crouch, good morning to you, buddy. How are you? So, anyway, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, and, I mean, you guys can ask questions, but I am working on a piece. So, I wasn't sure exactly what I'd be working on. I wasn't sure exactly what I'd be doing. But as many of you know that I was at Indy 500. I went to the Indy 500 this year. But it was a little different than that. A lot of people go to the Indy 500, like, 400,000 people. Andrew White, good morning. George Sandman, good morning to you. Hinchy, how did we not... Do you realize how close in time we were to the tail of Newgarden's car? Do you realize that it was within 30 minutes of each other? Now, of course, I don't know what you look like. So and I posted my pictures after the fact, which kind of sucks, but we were only like a half a block away. Anyway, I am working on a piece. No, Tom, not that kind of piece. I'm working on a piece of my experience of going to the Indy 500. This is the second time that I've gone, and this one was a little bit different. This time, I had a little bit of an inside track. So, as many of you know, my buddy works for Dallara. Dallara is across the street from the Speedway. He lives in Speedway, Indiana, which is the town that holds the actual track. Good morning, Max. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, puppy dog? And that led to other opportunities, of course. Now, I don't want to tell too much. So, I'm just going to say that I went to Indy. I had a blast. I did a lot when I was there, but I couldn't do everything I wanted. I definitely didn't get to do some of the things I dreamed of, unfortunately. But I had a really, really excellent time, and I came home just feeling so relaxed and refreshed and clear-headed, and then I walked into the studio, which is a mess, and it could have taken me down, but I was like, nah, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with this. Let's do our rally. We had a fun rally yesterday. So our only content this week has been our live stream of the road racing series. I'll give you the results at the end of the show. And my rally, which I'll also give you the results at the end of the show. But yeah, it was great to get back in the seat and get back to things as well. So it's, and then great to be here with you guys on a Friday to talk about what's going on in sim racing. So I don't have a lot more to tell you in Simpit news, unfortunately. I can tell you, I'm working on a recap of my Indy experience, so that's something we have working on. And I was just putting my calendar together. I have so much content, so many reviews, so many pieces that we're working on. And so I do promise you it's going to be a very, very exciting June and July here at the Simpit. So I'm going to catch up with some chat here. Hey, Chris S. from Bath in the UK. Hello. Chris asks, how is it for you when the Premier League ends? So, like right here in the United States, we have basketball wrapping up. And with that, we're going to be down to baseball. Now, I love baseball, and I played many, many, many years. But until the playoffs, it's hard to watch. We are kind of like without our conventional sports. Anyway, the Premier League ended, and it's a big bummer for me because it's something that we watched, 4 or 5 games a week of. So, anyway, all right. Good morning, Doug Hawley. Good morning, Boothie. How are you? All right. Not a ton of news in the sim racing world. I don't know why. I have a hunch it was because of the Indy 500 and because of the Monaco Grand Prix. Do you guys want to talk about the Monaco Grand Prix? Do you want to talk about IndyCar, the race itself? My piece won't cover the race all that much. Did anybody tune in to either? What is the league called below the Premier League? That is a really good question. And the Wolves, who I'm a fan of, they upgraded from that league, the second tier. Monaco was... Good morning, Caitlin. Good morning, Driver69. In a nutshell, here's what I would say about Monaco. FIA did an attempt at making the race exciting because Monaco, with the size of the cars and everything, Monaco really has not been very entertaining. Let's just be honest. So, excuse me. So FIA made an attempt, but here's the problem. We are in the era of attorneys. We are in the era of people whose full-time job is to look at rulings, legal things, and look for every exploit and every loophole that might have been left open. And quite honestly, these lawyers, these people who do this, are smarter than the FIA. So inevitably, in the modern era that we live in, whether it be the legal system or the rule book, every team is capable of finding every exploit. And so what you basically had is a rule that had some cool intention. It could have played a significant role in the way the game, the race played, and it was nullified by teams that know how to work their way around the rule book. And so inevitably Monaco is a yawn fest. Yes, it was. That's what I'd say. Unfortunately, there were some exciting moments. Now, actually, there's one thing I want to talk about, and again, this comes back to how many people are that involved in it, how many GB or hours of raw footage from Trip there is. Andres, I haven't even finished porting it all over. I'm a lot. A ridiculous amount, and some of it is usable and some of it is not, quite honestly. Now here's the thing that I want to, if anybody watched the Monaco race, blocking was going on at a massive rate in order to let pit stops happen without passes occurring, and using your teammate to block for it, totally within the legal rules of FIA. Now, George Russell got impatient at one moment, and he blew through the fake chicane. The one where you're coming out of the tunnel, there's a chicane, but it's just marked off. He blew through it, and he passed a car. This is a 10-second penalty. All right. Now, the FIA decided it was unsportsmanlike conduct and hit him with a drive-through penalty, which I thought was a great call, by the way. I thought that was a proper call under the rule book, in my opinion. Now, here's what I'm really getting at. Max Verstappen was in a position where he had to make a mandatory pit stop. And the rule was if he didn't, he would get a 30-second penalty. And so the commentary here in the United States was talking about, oh, well, it's just a 30-second penalty. He'll maintain position. And I thought, I wouldn't, if that's the case, I would not bring my car to pit lane, because every time you come in and you do the air jacks or the lift the car, do the air on the change tire, do the whole thing, it's a risk versus just letting the car run, because he had enough fuel and tires to make it to the end. And in the end, on the very last lap, he came in to avoid that 30-second penalty. And I thought, why'd he do that? Because it's just risk versus reward. And in the end, I thought in the end they decided that the FIA was not messing around and that they were going to hit him with more than a 30-second. They were going to hit him with an unsportsmanlike conduct and make him do a drive-through penalty, which there would be no time to do because he'd be finished in the race. Anyway, I think they were afraid he was going to get hit with an even harsher penalty than what was stated. That's my thought. But anyway, Monaco, unfortunately, is not that exciting. Brian, traveling the world O-Strike, thank you for joining us. Oh, man. If there is anybody I could just be a tag-along with, it would be Brian and his wife. I'm not going to say anymore. Welcome back, Brian. Anyway, so yeah, that's my take on the Monaco GP. Old F1 races are really exciting. They really are. English Football League, that's the second tier. Is that the one that Ryan Reynolds owns a team in? Okay, anyone 10 seconds slower than qual place is not racing. Yeah, driver 69, the whole blocking thing is a whole other, it is allowed. It is allowed, and I don't care for it. I think that is unsportsmanlike, and I agree. At a certain point, like NASCAR has a rule for how far off the pace you can be before you're black flagged. I think they need to really rethink this. But I don't know. I mean, there's always an argument for the other side, I suppose. All right, Joa says, Indy 500, Coke 600, and Monaco, all boring races. It was a boring race weekend, in your opinion. Now, I found some entertainment in the Indy race, and here's what I found. You had a lot of potential storylines that would have been really cool stories that one after another failed. So that was the excitement in the race, were the one after another. Oh, well, it could be this scenario. Oh, no, they've done this. Make that not happen. Oh, it could be this. No. And in the end, it ended up being the most boring result. And even with as I understand, I don't follow IndyCar as well as I should. But if you have 4 cars in a group at Indy, it's virtually impossible for the 4th position car to pass 3rd place. By the way, the dirty air comes into play by the 4th position. So what you had was when Palou made the pass on Ericsson, there was still Ericsson was getting maybe a hint of a draft off of those 2 nearly lapped cars. But when Palou made the move and got around him, the speed of that tucked him into those 2 cars. And honestly, it was like from that moment on, it was just like, whatever. I mean, Indy typically, I love Indy has a tradition, sort of like somehow getting down to two cars in the end, and they're like passing back and forth, for the last 5-10 laps of the race, and it's like really a toss up, and it gets dangerous and it gets strategic. Who wants to lead for that last lap, right? And we've seen so many finishes that come down like that, and this was far from that. Now, being there, it's a little different. It's a little more exciting when you're there. Also, didn't help, but it led to why there was so much carnage. And this is something else I'd like to wonder behind the scenes. I mean, we were listening on scanners, but it was hard to follow every team and what was going on in the race. But it was the fourth coldest it's ever been for an Indy 500. And a lot of the problems that we're having were a result of it being cold and very damp. There was a little bit of drizzle. And I'm just like, why were the crew chiefs not screaming at the drivers? Your brakes are going to be really cold. And not only are your brakes cold, but like pit lane's cold. Like the cars haven't been running on it. It's cold today. Your tires are not going to work as efficiently until they're up to full temperature. And a lot of the mistakes we saw made, I think, were a result of drivers not being heads up and aware of brakes not being ready to go, tires not being ready to go, conditions being a little sketchy, and everyone pushing because it's the Indy 500, semi-understandably, I think. So here, I'm going to shut this down. All right, any other thoughts on this? Yeah, isn't it amazing? Yeah, so do my buddies. I got out well because I wore a hat and my arms were ready for that level. I got a teeny bit of color on my thighs, but a couple of my buddies got fairly sunburnt. Brian, the only thing I said about Monaco was that it was a boring race. FIA made their best attempt at making a rule change to make it exciting, but the lawyers and the team strategy people, they managed to figure out every loophole and way to prevent that of actually playing any role. And yeah. So that was that. And then you had the George Russell unsportsmanlike penalty, which I thought was just. And I think that's why Max Verstappen came in versus staying out and taking a 30-second penalty, was they were afraid of getting more than 30-second penalty based on what they did to George Russell. And yeah, I heard a commentator that said they should have everybody qualify at Monaco and then just award points based on qualifying, and then they should have them all jump in shifter carts and invite the F2 and F3 guys as well. What orders? Ordered Mena and still haven't received them from Moza Direct. They have terrible actual CT. That I mean, their reputation is better than that. Yeah, I don't know. Where'd you order them? But yeah, they've been, from what I have heard, they've always been, oh, okay, so you are getting emails of delays. Well, that sucks. Are you in the US? Driver Moza is so exhausting. Decided to try FSR2. It shows up with broken LEDs. Now I'm going to take 3 to 6 to replace. That sucks. Okay. That's unfortunate. Yeah, exactly, Brian. Yeah. You know some rich guy who went to Indy? That was not me. I'm not the rich guy you're referring to. How much? I don't know. I have an R12 that I'm gonna sell, And I mentioned it, I think, 2 weeks ago, and no one mentioned. No, I didn't post it. I just mentioned it. No one hit me up. And I went to list it on eBay, and I accidentally listed it as an R9, and I almost didn't catch the mistake. Someone almost bought an R9 and then would have received an R12. I am so Indy poor. No, you know what? My buddy Troy hooked us up. I did say R9. I have an R12 that I'm selling. It's an R12 V2. Sorry, Booth. My buddy Troy called me up a couple months ago. He's like, is there any way that I can get you to go to Indy? And I was like, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. He's like, what if I covered the flight? And I'm like, well, that would make it harder to argue. He's like, all right, well, if I will get, so anyway, he has a ridiculous amount of airline miles, so he used it. He's like, the only problem is it'll be a sucky flight, right? Because you're gonna have to like do layovers to use the miles and get them efficient. Anyway, so I had sucky travel. This is all be in my recap. I shouldn't even be telling the story, but my buddy Troy got me out there, and a couple other friends of his that I know also were there. He got us Carb Day. He got us the race tickets. He paid for anybody who knows anything about Indy and has gone and fine dined. He paid for St. Elmo's, which is like, we ran into the Gronk there because that's where like all the VIPs of the race go for dinner at night. On the museum, because he's an employee of Delara, he always gets one guest. So 2 of the 4 of us got in for free. And then, oh my God, you guys want to hear something so sad? So sad. We're never going to get to the news. I don't even want to say it. You guys are going to clown me. I used my senior discount for the first time ever. The guy's ringing us up. We have 2 free tickets. He's like, is anyone over? And I thought I heard I thought I heard him say 65. And then Robert and Brandon, who are both in front of me, were like, did G say, we're 57. Their cutoff was 55. And they're like, oh, so, yeah, we're seniors. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm a senior. Yeah, I got a discount. My first time ever. It was so sad. So sad. But I got to do the new Indy museum. And I'm so embarrassed. And I could kill my buddy Troy for this. We missed the whole interactive section, which is all the simulators. We were there for hours because I was reading. I kind of started to annoy them. I was like reading a lot of detail on a lot of things. I was like, really, I could probably spend 8-hour day at the Indy Museum. It's so nice now. But we totally, because we were all starving. We had tried to go there twice before, but it was so crowded we didn't. So we had to wait until Monday to do it. And it was it was fairly crowded. But anyway, we got there early, and anyway, I didn't get to drive their simulator, which I understand is a sim craft with traction loss, I understand. And I didn't get to do any of the interactive stuff, like the pit stop thing. So, yeah. Okay. I was going to ask about the booster. Wait. Isle of Man TT is running. Dunlop is getting a corner named after him. Booster seat story at the bus stop. No, he didn't have visible brain damage. is going to ask about the booster. Yeah, Booth, I'm going to make the video. I'm done talking. Okay. It's not that sad. It's a celebration. Hey, in Logan's Run, I'd be long gone by now, right? Time to pull up your pants, your belly button, and start golfing. I golfed young. I don't like golf. Caitlin, it's so funny you said that. I will do one more part of the story because it's something else that won't be in the recap video. I went, so Delara and AK something have a sim center that just opened, and it's right there on the corner of the back corner of Delara on Main Street, but they literally just got it up and running like last week. So I went by there, and unfortunately when I went by there, no one was there because they had just opened. There was no signage and there was nobody in there, and the rigs were really cool if you were in there with a group of 10 or 20 people. But if you were like one of us, you'd be like, oh, it was the old Fanatic rig, not even the one I'm sitting in here, but the old Batman looking one. It had a podium wheel with like one of their generic good rims, and it had their Club Sport pedals and a widescreen. And like, that's a cool setup. I'm not knocking it. But like, this setup is better than that. That setup blows doors on it. So yeah, anyway. I failed us. Oh, Christian, I failed. I'm sorry. I'm notorious for doing it. I have a very hard time mixing work with pleasure. That is another problem. Truth be told, in real life, I don't actually take a lot of photographs. I don't take a lot of video. I live my moments. I don't really chronicle them well. And it's really funny because when I get on vacation and do other things, it's hard for me to remember that I do have a job as well. So, the Delara simulator. So, now that's different than the Delara simulator, which I'll show in my piece. I can tell you right now, I didn't get to drive it. There are reasons behind why. But, no. No, not to be. Maybe someday, but probably not very likely now that I've learned more about it. Yeah, Booth, it's hard to, if you're a seasoned sim racer, it's hard to compete if you're for a sim center with what you have at home. Yeah. Home personalized sim thrones are so much better than public display ones, like porta potties. That's a great quote. All right. BMNG has some teasers. I'm going to move on to the news. We can be here all day talking about me. I don't think that's what we're here for. I can tell you this. The Delara sim, if anyone knows the Cruden sim, is like 2 or 3 times as big. I didn't pass the physical. What do you mean? What do you mean? All right, so on the 27th, what is today? Today is the 30th. No, Andres, how dare you? Don't you all know that I am race car driver size? I am race car driver size. This is what they want. This right here. This these noodle arms, this hot dog belly. That's what they want. I need you to understand that. All right. Beam. I'm a retired jockey. I was too heavy to be a jockey. The right height, but too heavy. Roller coasters rock. I could do a roller coaster vacation. I definitely could. The subcompact coal. Yeah, okay, Joey, there you go. I used to have abs. I was pretty fit until, let's say 35, but that's already 20 years ago. 22 if you want to be a dick about it. All right, here at BMG, we truly appreciate our fans. Work in progress. This looks like a big rig truck to me. First indicator, attack that only goes up to 5,000. And who else has a semi-professionally mounted real fan on the dash? Fun-sized. I saw some TikTok of a guy who's 5'9" talking about everybody who's in the 5'8" to 5'10" range, just being a Toyota Tercel or vanilla ice cream. He was even saying that people my height have an advantage because at least we're unique. At least there's something standoutish about us. I heard, what was it, 3 inches of fat is enough to stop a bullet from hitting a vital organ? That's what I'm working on. It's self-defense for the modern era. I need to get rid of some of the insulation. I live in a warm territory. You accidentally chose supermodel goddess height setting. Definitely not race car driver in life boot up. Well, and that can be a problem in a race car because, literally, at Russell, we had a tall car. We literally had a car that had an extended roll bar for anyone that was over about 6'2", 6'3". Which doesn't even sound that tall, but in a race car, that's bigger than 99% of the people get in a race car. Anyway, can someone help me on this one? I can't figure this one out. BeamNG posted this yesterday. Staring in the mirror, but something ain't right. Is this a backward-facing car? I don't... anyone get it? 13 has started early. Hey, Sean, thinking week 13 has started early on iRacing. Is that right? I've been out of town, so I'm a little out of touch on that. I was going to get on some iRacing probably later today. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, if need be. You can only remove so much. They weren't super padded cars. Alright. Something about the wheel on the wrong side. I thought about that too, Tom, but I wasn't sure. That looks right to me, but then how would it look in a mirror? But then how am I looking in a mirror if I'm looking at my steering wheel? I don't know. I didn't have time to figure it out. Race Room is showing off the free-to-play from May 29th to June 12th. The MX-5, the Mazda MX-5 at Mid-Ohio for free in all game modes. No purchase, no limits. Just pure spec racing fun. So they're going to have some races set up for that. American and EU models. Is that what it is? That could be. No driver in the mirror. It's autonomous. Autonomous vehicles. I think they're notorious for not having drivers already. New car? New car? A new car! It's brutal with the level of dumb drivers, always. Euro, flip-flop. NSA Prinz, but it isn't. Probably some old quirky Euro car. Yeah, well, it is Beam. You never know. All right. EA F125. What time does it launch in your part of the world? This is on the 26th. That was the day I was at Indy. 8 PDT LA time. So it happened. It happened. It's out there. Formation lap complete. Eyes on the lights. Here's your release timings for F125. Iconic Rivals mode, 2 iconic rivals. Try EA for 5 hours with EA Play. Yeah. Try EA Sports F125 for 5 hours with EA Play. Leave your mark on the world of racing today. Join us tomorrow as we celebrate the launch. That was on the 28th. To race rival photos, live stream. So it's out. Have you played it? I have not. I just got home. Have not. Should I? All right, come on, show of hands. Show of hands. Who's done it? Are you still using the AccuForce Ultimate? If so, how are you enjoying it? Demolitia for the win. I have to be truthful because it was live. I had a power supply failure. So, Sim Experience rapidly sent me a new unit, and they wanted everything. They wanted the USB cable, they wanted the power cable, they wanted the power supply, the wheelbase, the wheel rim. They wanted everything, and then I had to send them all of my data, the log from that day, and they're looking into what went wrong. And they've sent me a new one, and it's sitting right there going on the rig as soon as this show's done, ironically. Was thoroughly enjoying it until it went out. Was 100% loving it until it went out. Yeah, I thought this, I didn't think you guys would be very excited for it. So, yeah, I liked that too. I did like that. Alright, Forza, rolling out an update for Forza Horizon 5 on all platforms. Includes fixes for festival playlists, numerous accolades, and they have a whole write-up. Ooh, that's very blinding. Let's turn that off. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Forza. Yeah. There you go. I don't know. It could be the power spike at my house. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Let's see here. SCS Software, Iowa gameplay preview has just arrived. And so then they have a whole write-up on some Iowa. Hey. We're in Iowa. No offense to people in Iowa. Those are some long, straight roads in Iowa. All right. Also, coming out of the SCS Software camp is their latest on their Nordic Horizons DLC. And they have a whole write-up there as well. And, oh, no video link here. We're going to go back here. Here's the video then. Look at that clarity. There we go. Well, let's mute that song before we get demonetized. Because thousands of people are watching this. There's a certain power to having a small show where your monetization is, I guess I can give up the nickel and play the song. And who cares? I should stop stressing out about monetization. Cool. Is that fair? All right, let's see. The weak point of that, the V2 and dodgy power cable. This time, okay, so now, Demolitia. I agree 100%. I hated the power cord on the original base. This does not use that power. You don't have that wonky 10-pin thing. This is just a straightforward heavy-duty power cord. So that should be solved. California has the best power grid, you thought. No, we do not. California's going to have some serious infrastructure problems moving forward. Like, if I want to continue, I mean, I don't want to turn this weird, but if I want to live here, I'm going to have to get semi-self-sustainable, I feel. I don't know the timeline, and I feel like I'm behind on it, but I have to be prepared to get self-sustainable because I think California is going to run into some issues, unfortunately. More corn, exactly. AccuForce was Sean's go-to base for years. Yeah, it really was. And even very recently, I was running the Minimite Ricmotech, which is essentially a like modded out AccuForce. That's what it is. It's a modded AccuForce. But the shipping costs around $400. Ouch, that's a lot. And shipping is brutal right now. It's not going to get better either, unfortunately. That's something that won't change. The only way to overcome shipping right now is infrastructure, which means distribution, having proper wholesalers in regions. Monetization, so 2020. Exactly. Use that 12-volt high-power connector that... I'm not sure if it's the exact same one, Tom. Because I have an old computer, so I wouldn't even have fancy NVIDIA plugs. Yeah, not a bad idea, Demolitia. Make my own power. Exactly, Joa. Jackery UPC, some pretty good heavy set. My problem with UPCs is that they seem to have they do great, but they have diminishing capacity over time. So then all of a sudden, like 18 months later, it can't do it. But maybe that's not a bad idea. I'm not ruling out that I had a big power surge, because when that happened, I also lost my pedals, and the USBs on my computer went a little wonky, and I still haven't sorted out exactly what is and isn't working and in what capacity. But something really bad happened at that moment. Alright, so Moza, what's this DreamHack Dallas 2025? And why was I not invited? No. Moza Racing was at DreamHack Dallas 2025. And they have pictures of some... Oh, look at that Lamborghini rig. Look at that Lamborghini. Did you see the Lamborghini rig? Alright, they had some pictures. Like this. This is a whole other Lamborghini wheel rim out of Moza. So, look at that. Look at that. We already know that one. We know that. Visaro rigs. Nice rigs. Do you really know that guy? Is that the guy you were referring to? That's Overtake guy. Yeah, this is going to be cool. So that's what's up. That's what's up at Moza. Here's another shot of it. $2,500 Australian? Ouch. Ouch. Well, it makes me think that maybe they sold more of these than I thought they did. I thought these were going to be like... whatchamacallit? Like, connoisseur only. Was that somebody I'm supposed to know? Hey, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Jimmy Family Pack Taco? I don't know. Who's that? Who's that? I don't know. Here.
To sit in an actual river well, to believe it or not. And here you can see really how close
Thank you, Booth.
sim racing wheel is to the real thing. I mean, the airbag part here on the real one is obviously also like wrapped in nice leather and so on. That's not the case here with the sim racing version. This on the real car, you cannot press it. Not a button here as well, so that's fine. But yeah, these buttons, they made some nice use of these buttons, for example, and they feel the exact same. It's also the same logo here of the little race flag.
That's cool.
Probably the Trofeo mode that you can.
This isn't carbon down here. Where's the carbon on? Where's the carbon look?
And yeah.
Where's the Italian flag across the bottom front?
Very similar feel.
I mean, seriously, I mean, see this carbon right there? And that is just black plastic looking. See that little flag? That little flag means a lot to me right there. Anyway. Alright. Sim Magic giving you more profile setups for the Alpha Evo Pro bases. So this is Jaxer. Jack Zert. And he has his iRacing preset for the Alpha Evo Pro geared up and ready for competitive racing. And here you go. All the parameters for his setup for the wheel. So that's cool. I love seeing this from various companies going on. So great job, Sim Magic, on that. It's not a replica if it's not a replica. You love that round wheel at $3.99. It's a must buy. I agree. That is good. All right, you guys are such clowns. I can't tell who he really is and if I should know or care. It's the Overtake guy. It's some guy on Overtake. Cube controls. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Cube controls really getting into things here. Get ready for a smoother sim racing experience. Our new wheelbase's side adapter for VNM and SimuCube are here. 60% lighter for improved performance and super easy connections direct to wheel or with our QRX system coming May 30th. SimuCube and VNM direct drive compatible. And if I'm a moron for not knowing, you guys feel free to clown away. I got thick skin. So here.
In a collaboration with VNM, our first Tease. Here we have the Elite, the 18 Nm version, and the Extreme, the 32 Nm version. Both of the bases come included with our new wheelbase app. The wheelbase app comes in purple, black, red, and blue, and you will also be able to buy separately. You'll be able to buy both bases on our site in bundles where our wheels and pedals are included, and you also will get the QRX. For both bases, you'll be able to download a preset profile made by esports drivers. We are very excited for this and what's to come. Thank you and see you soon.
All right. Another company getting big into the DD. So, Europe, get ready. Our game-changing collab with VNM drops tomorrow, May 30th. Snag a limited edition Cube Controls direct drive system and redefine your sim racing. Choose from Elite 18 Newton meters or Extreme 32 Newton meter. Damn, 32. VNM base is engineered for top-tier performance. So, kind of cool looking. On that video, those adapters look bigger than life. Anyway, they look much more properly dimensioned on. Yeah, I like the colors too. It's about time. Remember most of you guys are in the upper years of wisdom. Do you remember just the BMX era? Do you remember when we just got anodized everything? I miss how cool that transition of our sport or hobby was. Like, it was just, wow, we went from like generic to bam. And like, you could have your bike and it's totally different than your buddy's bike, even if you had the same bike. And then you start getting the pad colors to kind of coincide with the paint and the rim colors in your anodized set. Oh man, that was the good old days, I tell you. All right, VRS. The wheel has spoken. Buying VRS wins over savings. My wallet may dislike, but my passion is living its best life. Anyway, VRS talking about their great deals, which is true. Every time I look it up, VRS prices do blow me away. You got your kid a chromoly blue bike last summer. Awesome. Wanting a Mongoose. Wasn't Mongoose one of the models of Diamondback? No, Mongoose is different than Diamondback. They're different companies, but they're both respectable brands in the world of BMX. Redline was another. DG was another that I remember that I really always wanted a DG. Later into it, GT, GT. Haro. Yeah. All right. What else? What else do we have to talk about? Okay, this is kind of big. The Revo Sim RS Pure ecosystem is officially released. Purchase your sim gear now and prepare to unleash the driver. Nacon Gaming Revo Sim. I thought I reached out to them and we were all good to go. I maybe need to reach out to them again, or maybe I missed something. Robinson, Torker, yes. One that's been somewhat corrupted, PK Ripper. Weren't they like really good race bikes back in the day, and now they've been turned into these like wheelie bikes by the kids? And I understand it's by not even the same guy. Like the real dude isn't even getting paid by what's going on. I don't know if the good and bad of that story. Anyway, so they've got these bundles. So you've got the RS Pure steering wheel, 9 Newton meter base with the pedals, $7.99. I'm on Euro pricing. Look at that. This is like all their logo reminds me of like Transformers. They've got some gloves, gearbox, handbrake. Their 9 Newton meter base on its own is €5.49. Sturdy, I don't remember a sturdy. The Trek Y-frame, that was an odd fad. There have been a few odd fads in the bicycle world, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely looks like a copy of a copy of a copy. Well, it's interesting you say that. I don't know if it is the same. We should look at the logo. And that is something we're going to talk about here in a second, Tim. Video games. Racing. Yes, it is the same, Tim. Alright, see this? WRC Generations. Nacon Gaming. And Nacon Gaming is like a division. This is an older game, WRC Generations. Look, $8. And this is them with KT Games. Haven't I been saying for a little while? Wait, where is it here? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to that other article. Haven't I been saying for a while who would be the successor to EA? And I've been saying, well, it's probably going to just go back to KT Games somehow. Anyway, overtake on the story. Nacon reacquire WRC game license. Da-da-da! Ba-da-da-da! April ended with a big surprise for Rally Sim racers after releasing the Hard Chargers DLC in March. EA announced the update was indeed the final one for the game. That naturally sparked discussion. Who would it be, right? We talked about all these. Would it be Beam? We talked about this. Would it be Beam? Beam? Would it be iRacing? Kunos? Who? Anyway, stepping forward. Nacon and KT Racing. WRC comeback after 2022. No VR, no buy. That is fair, David S. That becomes more fair every year of the game, and even more importantly, every transition of company. Right? Every time it goes to new owner, come on, it's time to step up to the modern era. Ready Player that shit. Alright, so that's cool though. That is good news. That is good news. And it is the same company, by the way. That is the same company that is now making steering wheels. Where did they go? Where'd they go? We had them. RevoSim. Same. We can only hope, Joa. We can only hope. Alright, let's see. Where are we? GT Omega. Now, is this the kind of stuff you guys want me to tell you about or not? I don't know. GT Omega has a giveaway alert to celebrate the release of new F1 2025 game. We've teamed up with Moza to bring you a giveaway you won't want to miss. Lucky winner will receive a GT Omega Prime Light cockpit, an inertia bucket seat, an R5 Moza R5 bundle, and a F1 2025 on your preferred system. Now, they're doing it through Gleam, which I don't know how you guys... Oh, wait, it's no longer... It said 23 hours when I fired this up this morning. 31. Look, it says 31 hours left right there. Now it says, this promotion not available in your area. Alright, never mind. Forget him. Forget I talked about it. Sorry. Now I'm mad. Do you guys want me to let you know when I come across contests and deals? Is that something that is news? I'm not sure if that's news or not. Alright, Max, I'm almost done. We're almost done. Sorry, buddy. He's like, alright. We didn't do our early walk, so I'd like to go on our walk. I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if that is what it is. Now, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Credit where credit is due. B-Sim Racing is... I gotta itch up my nose, forgive me. B-Sim Racing is really the ones who keep having the scoop on what's going on with Project Motor Racing. And I always was a huge fan of Lola. You know, at the Cabana. Anyway, so it looks like the... showing off some of the 1970s Lola T700 Mark III BGT. 3B GT. That's going to be part of that game. So that's kind of cool. Good looking car. Wait, let me change that. Great looking car. Alright, I guess that takes us to racing. It takes us to internal stuff here. We just completed the wow, we only have 2 stages left, I think, in the Simpit Rally League. Or no, we have mini stages left. I'm sorry. I'm crisscrossing seasons. In the Simpit Rally League, we just finished stage round 5, and that was Rally Greece. Rally of the Gods, the EKO, Acropolis, Rally of the Gods, Rally Greece. And we have our overall results. I haven't seen how it wrapped up, so I'm seeing now. It was looking pretty good yesterday for me and my teammate. We'll see. All right. Winning the rally with an overall time of 43 minutes, 48 seconds. David S. But look at this margin. Oh my God. Look at this margin. Only 0.175 back after 43 minutes and 48 seconds. And the only reason I'd say 48 seconds, not just round it up to 44, is because we're talking about a 0.175 margin. Caractacus in second place. Third place is Jeff SMKU. PC Deadman in fourth. Joa in fifth. Dirge is in sixth. Alesh Mom in seventh. Sporkomith eighth. Ufi Bambola in ninth. Simpit Sean in 10th. I scored 10th place points. Yay, me. Heiko, May Racer, Tom Rally Jones, Sean Cobb, F48, Spatial Dragon, Max Power, Lecote, Yan 1779, and Turlon round out our results. Did we have more? Nope. That was it? Yep. All right, we also have our team championship. And it looks like this. Wait. How did I miss? Hold on. Back. Oh, shit. All right, let's look at team points. Here we go. Now, we've had a couple of withdrawals, unfortunately. So, not sure. I think, was it from John Hill pulling out? I'm not sure. Looks like the team of Heiko and John Hill are no longer running in the team event. But I know Heiko, they're both running individually, so I think it's just they've had too many misses or something. I'm not sure exactly. And I know that Booth just couldn't get the game running and certainly couldn't stream it, so that he wasn't able to do it. Unfortunately, it leaves Christian running in the solo group now. So our team's event is down to 4 teams. And at this point, it is Team WDDF on top with 162 points. And that's Caractacus and Wouter Van Morik. And David S. and Tom Jones. Davy Jones Locker Racing, 153 points in second. Joe Antonio and Scob TDC, the NFG Rally Club, in third with 143. And I guess you could say me and Alesh are starting to make a little bit of a comeback, maybe, sort of. Simpit Rally Team in fourth place with 125 points. So, Dirge needs a third teammate. Well, teams is, it's something we want to try out. And sometimes you try. And sometimes it works. And sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes it works, but it needs modification moving forward. We'll finish the season off. We'll have our off season to make some adjustments. And we'll proceed forward. Accordingly. So now, let me try to get to what I wanted was, where did... that was for the race. Oh, I want to go down to overall points. That's what I wanted. Individual points. Let's go through the individual points in the Rally Club, at least real quickly. Jeff SMKU leading with 98. Caractacus with 82 in second. PC Deadman in third with 69. Looking back from there, it's Bloody McGee, that's Joa. David S., Heiko, Alesh, Christian, Turlon, Frank, Pacha, Max Power, Sporkomic, May Racer, Yukamina, Ufi Boombola, Yanni, me, John, Sean Cobb, and Brainwash. I only have 1 point. I can't hear. I can't tell. I can't tell. So that's where we are. In the Simpit Road Racing Series, they're at Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari, a.k.a. Imola. Joa Antonio wins the race in the Pro Division, and he had a fast lap of 1:43.304. KA Motorsport, that's Amir Assad, finishing in second. And the Simpit LG, that's Devin Booth, finishing in first place. And in our amateur class, David Payne and Travis Fleming. And it looks like we only had 10 drivers. That is a little unfortunate. That's a little unfortunate there. I'm just saying. I think we might have to put a pause on the Simpit. There are only 2 races left. Yeah, that's too bad. I am saddened by this. So, those who participate, I really, really appreciate it. And those who don't, that's unfortunate. I'm a little upset about that. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of American. Oh yeah, it was Memorial Day. Okay, good point. That's fair. But we've had, like, even the race before, our numbers have been pretty. I mean, I'm not there, but I'm on injury, and that Sean Cole guy quit the road league. I know. Now, to be fair, I am on injury, and I mean, I have kind of run every season since we started. So, yeah, but that doesn't help that I had to drop out. Anyway, looking at the points, Joshua Higgy still leads in the points with 220. Randall White in second with 204. James Dowling in third place with 189. Nicholas Batista in fourth place with 186. And Joe is in fifth with 183, only a couple back. But I did send a message to Dave, and I told him that that's on my to-do list here, and that we're going to make some arrangements to make that happen. Yeah, drop weeks would help. It's tough when it's that super serious, thing, and it's like life or race, and then once you uncork it, it's like, well, I guess I'm out. David Payne, amateur division, leading the amateur division with 223 points. Travis Fleming in second with 203, and only 1 point back is Robert McNeil. Ken Estep and Joseph Spacek round out the top 5. And Ken, I know for, Ken, he is certainly away on Memorial Day. So I'm thinking, even though I'm out, this weekend I'm going to try to get caught up at work, so I'm going to just not be there. Amir's going to run solo. But I'm thinking that for the following week, and this is a suggestion by Tom Jones, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. I'm actually going to kind of play like a crew chief spotter to Amir, while simultaneously kind of following what's going on in the race and keeping people up on what's going on at the lead and the front of the race. So I'm not promising a commentary, because that's not really my gig. There are people who do that way better than I do. But we're going to clown with Amir a little bit. We're going to have a little fun with the final race stream at Nordschleife, and that's what I'm going to do for the final race. So we got that going on. All right, we mentioned Nick Batista. And now we have some shots of his rig. This is sort of a last... He'd cleared things out for some plans that were on the way. And let's go ahead and move forward. Boom! Boom! Big old triple screens. Bam! Emerald style. And then we've got another shot. Looking pretty good. Nice looking setup that Nick has. Here's the full setup of the room. He didn't clean up for the photo. Oh, we got a to-do list. It looks like some inspirational quotes or messages. A lot of driving and racing art, and you can see he served. I'm sure it was a big Memorial Day for you. I'm sure everybody. Heating pad, indicator of Nick being a proper part of the pit crew. Definitely likes his toys. Nick's got his toys. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking for some things. Thank you, Joa. Well, if I was going to do something for the final race, what do you think would be better? What I described or just doing a straight commentary? Looks like a proper bedroom. E82 on the ring. You know your stuff. That's something I can't claim to have any awareness of. Hi, Max. Okay, buddy. We're wrapping up right now. All right, well, I think we have covered all of the news. Like I said, I'm going to work on some kind of recap of my Indy story. It's not going to be too long. It's not going to go into too much detail, but it'll give you guys an idea of the type of experience I had, which was unique. I did have a semi-unique experience that was a lot of fun. I hope that I got pictures of everything I can think of. I don't think I did. I'm still going through it. I have 3 different cameras that I'm downloading stuff from, and yeah, so we'll work on that. And like I said, getting that AccuForce back into action over there, and getting back out on the rig and doing some driving beyond the rally, and getting to the review process. Like I said, I have a really long list of gear, and it's time to really get back in action. I got my head clear. I'm all motivated, fired up, having fun, loving it. And thank you guys for being here for the first pit stop back, which will really mark a different day. We're going into June. A lot of good stuff coming up, and I'm all pumped up about it. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Get out there, do some sim racing. Real quick, I'm going to check on the commentary and interacting with chat while effing with the mirror from time to time. Tom, that's kind of the game plan of what I'm spelling out. Yeah, as long as we have enough drivers, you guys should have fun in the commentary booth, but if we need more drivers, you better be on track. Booth, I can't do an hour in the rig because of my shoulder right now. Was it Nordschleife or Nürburgring? We better double check. I don't know. The last 2 weeks, LME legitimate try. There you go. Every person in the picture on the right. Oh, yeah, you scared me into thinking that Amir I had the camera ready for Amir to join just in case he got back in time, but he knew he wasn't going to make it. So, alright, thank you for being here. Get out there, do some sim racing. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Colt, and I'll see you on the track. Bye-bye, everybody.